Hi, I'm Danny Boyd, and I confess,
The story starts
I cry watching the Disney animated Robin Hood
on the Ides of March.
from 1973.
Jackson Merriweather, born into the tether, to work the land and never live to see a dime.
In the past, when I've talked about movie scenes that make me cry, it's been all about this idea of some grand narrative setup and payoff. In A Knight's Tale, it was all about how the first and second acts set things up just right to hit you really hard in the finale. In Lord of the Rings, it was all about how Aragorn's character arc across 3 films culminates in 5 deeply affecting words at his coronation. Robin Hood, though, is a little different. It's something much more acute than that. Basically, there are 2 separate points in this movie that make me cry simply for what they are, for what they show, and how they show it. And any setup and payoff that is utilized isn't part of a larger narrative structure, but instead is either self-contained within the sequence, or is a part of the film's tonal rhythm, which I'll explain further as we venture through the movie. So, without further ado, Disney's Robin Hood begins here, with a credit sequence and narration by Alan Adale, voiced by Roger Miller.
Oh, incidentally, I'm Alan Adale, a minstrel. Oh, that's an early day folk singer. And my job is to tell it like it is, or was, or whatever. Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say.
Miller also wrote and sang much of the film's original soundtrack.
And having such a good time, oodle-lolly, golly, what a day.
From the word go, the vibes of this movie are set.
Ha! The sheriff and his whole posse couldn't lift you off the ground. Hey, watch it, Rob. That's the only hat I've got.
After a brief scene with our main characters, we're introduced to the film's primary antagonist, Prince John, the phony King of England, voiced by the great Peter Ustinov.
Tell me, what is the next stop, Sir Hiss?
And his silly sniveling sidekick.
Oh, yes, the next stop is Nottingham, sire.
The following sequence is mostly just fun and games as Robin Hood and Little John proceed to rob the prince in his royal coach. Rather thoroughly, I might add. In something of a very Saturday morning cartoon kind of way. And so they do the deed, they make their escape, and then the tone shifts.
And believe me, it's a good thing he did. Because what with taxes and all, the poor folks of Nottingham were starving to death.
We're introduced to Nottingham, and to the state of the folk living there, and to the not-so-honorable town sheriff.
Well, looky there. Friar Tuck, the old do-gooder. He's out doing good again.
I don't know about you, but I don't get emotional watching pure evil. I get emotional watching the suffering and the resilience of good non-superheroic characters in the face of that evil.
I'm way behind in my work, Sheriff.
I know, Otto, but you're way behind with your taxes, too.
Oh, have a heart, Sheriff. Can't you see he's laid up?
And if that wasn't enough,
Let me give you a hand with that leg. Ups-a-daisy. Bingo. What they won't think of next.
but that's only half this sequence. This interaction is immediately followed up with a second illustration of the sheriff's cruelty, only 100 times worse.
Well, Mr. Sheriff, sir, it's my birthday present, sir.
Literally stealing the birthday gift of an impoverished kid.
Oh, boy, 1 whole farthing.
Have you no heart? We all scrimped and saved to give it to him.
But what's interesting about these 2 sequences, side by side, is the way they mirror each other. In this scene, we open with the friar passing alms off to the blacksmith.
Oh, God bless Robin Hood.
And we close with the sheriff taking them away, leaving us in a negative state of disparagement.
Prince John says that taxes should hurt.
While in this scene, we begin with a double-down act of cruelty.
The family that saves together pays together.
sinking our spirits even lower. But then when Robin Hood enters the scene,
Arms for the poor.
we end on a disproportionate double act of kindness.
And that, Sheriff took my birthday present.
Did he now? But be a stout-hearted little lad and don't let it get you down.
Gee whiz, it's Robin Hood.
Happy birthday, son.
First giving Skippy a gift even better than coin.
For you.
For me?
At least better for a child feeling blue.
Thanks, Mr. Robin Hood, sir. Hey, how do I look, huh? Not much like Mr. Robin Hood.
Followed up with a reality check that toys and good spirits still don't buy food.
I only wish I could do more. Here. And keep your chin up. Someday there'll be happiness again in Nottingham. You'll see.
Oh, Robin Hood, you've risked so much to keep our hopes alive.
And this is how this movie operates. It ebbs and it flows. It isn't just good vibes, a bit of conflict, maybe one really sad scene, and then resolution. It's this endless boat rock of highs and lows while maintaining this undercurrent of weariness throughout. Something that, at least for me, is what separates a lot of, say, tragic films from genuinely emotional ones. But let's continue.
I gotta get my arrow.
When Skippy and his friends go in to retrieve the arrow from the courtyard, we're introduced to the fair maid Marian.
Well, hello. Where did you come from?
Oh, please don't tell Prince John. Mama said he'll jump off my head.
Oh, don't be afraid. You've done nothing wrong.
And along with her, the film's secondary arc.
And now I get to meet all of you.
The love story between her and Robin Hood.
Are you gonna marry Robin Hood? Mama said you and Robin Hood are sweethearts.
A certain bittersweetness plays out in the star-crossed sequence that follows, in understanding that life and love are not as simple as they're made out to be by children.
You don't just walk up to a girl, hand her a bouquet, and say, hey, remember me? We were kids together. Will you marry me? No, it just isn't done that way.
Oh, come on, Robbie. Climb the castle walls.
Plus, well, the music. But after that, things begin to lift up again with the Archery Tournament, a ploy by Prince John to lure and trap Robin Hood, who disguises himself as a stork for the chance to see Marian and win her kiss. It's a great set piece overall. Candy Candido's voice is unbelievable.
The tournament of the Golden Arrow will now begin.
Robin Hood gets to show off the sheriff anonymously. Eventually is found out.
The loser.
A romp ensues. And ultimately, the gang, along with Marian, escape into Sherwood Forest. This ruckus is followed by a very sweet love montage, played under the song Love written for the film.
Love, it seems like only yesterday. You were just a child at play.
The love montage is followed by a very joyous celebration, and festivities and outspokenness against the phony King of England.
Phony King of England.
Basically, for 3 scenes, we're built up and up and up, and then the calm before the storm.
He throws an angry tantrum if he cannot have his way. He calls for mom and sucks his thumb and doesn't want to play.
The infectiousness of these celebrations, of such jubilance, makes a little prince grow very grumpy.
But sire, it's a big hit. The whole village is singing it.
Oh, they are they? Well, they'll be singing a different tune. Double the taxes, triple the taxes. Squeeze every last drop out of those insolent musical peasants.
And just as you've reached your highest, the film then tears you down.
Man, oh man, that Prince John sure made good his threat. And his helpless subjects paid dearly for his humiliation. believe me.
And here, all the more,
Every town
I cry.
has its ups and downs. Some towns' ups outnumber the downs, but not in Nottingham. I'm inclined.
Roger Miller's song and the imagery of these characters, jailed and suffering, and yet still loving and caring for each other. Oh boy.
We'd up and fly if we had wings for flying. Can't you see the tears we're crying?
And the rain and the dark is palpable, even in the indoor scenes that follow. The emptiness, the smallness, the depression. And then there are just these few lines, maybe sad because of the content, maybe for the context, or maybe just because of the characters and voices saying them.
Friar Tuck, we've saved this. It's not much, but please take it for the poor.
But once again, if that wasn't enough...
Listen, Friar, you're mighty preachy, and you gonna preach your neck right into a hangman's noose. Get out of my church!
The good friar is then arrested for putting up a fight against his oppressors.
Has its ups and downs. Some towns' ups outnumber the downs, but not in Nottingham.
Ken Anderson, who conceptualized the film, originally wanted his Robin Hood story set in the American Deep South. This idea was nixed for a traditional setting. If you're familiar with Disney's early history, you can maybe guess why. But holdovers through character accents,
Cram a neatly trigger, point that pea shooter the other way.
Roger Miller's music,
Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day.
ultimately resulted in a somewhat anachronistic backdrop for the film. Combine that with the use of animals instead of people, and you get this sort of non-specific world where any real-world injustices from any place or time in history can almost be laid over it. And yet, I don't think any of that was deliberate. And maybe that's just it. Robin Hood doesn't try to be much of anything terribly important, but there's an inadvertent quality to it that all the more then always surprises me when I watch it. Plus, yes, the fact that this is all played out with adorable anthropomorphic animals, but it's these 2 points in the film that simply get me every single time.
Long live Maid Marian! Bravo! Bravo!
But speaking of that intersection between childhood and adulthood, there's a new series I've been watching that I highly recommend y'all check out right now called Amy's Dead-End Dream House, a show that follows Amy and her household of sentient appliances as they encounter a myriad of very real existential adult problems in a totally surreal multicam sitcom sort of way. Everything from job hunting to mental illness to impossible beauty standards. The tagline for the show is literally a kid's show made for adults. And it is. It's like Blue's Clues meets Better Off Ted, only far more profane than the former and far more life-affirming than the latter. It's super unique, super funny, super self-aware, but also profoundly poignant for anybody currently facing, life. Again, it's Amy's Dead-End Dream House, and new episodes come out every other week, exclusively over on Nebula. If you don't know, Nebula is a creator-built, creator-owned streaming platform. It has no ads, no clutter, and is home not only to Nebula original programming, shows like Amy's Dead-End Dream House, documentaries like Tom Nicholas's Boomers, but also tons and tons more exclusive, extended, and early content from creators you know, like Thomas Flight, like Stories of Old, The Closer Look, and, well, me. Subscribing to me over on Nebula now gets you access to all my new videos weeks early and completely ad-free. And now as a member, you also get access to guest passes, giving friends and family week-long Nebula access, and you the opportunity to share and discuss all the great stuff you see on Nebula with the people you care about. If you join Nebula with my code, you can get 40% off a year's subscription, which comes out to just $36 for the year, or $3 a month, if you go to go.nebula.tv/CinemaStix, or use my QR code. I'm Danny Boyd. I hope to see you there.